Hey there, comic book fans. I'm John Andersen, and I just watched Season 5, Episode 1 of Arrow, and I was genuinely surprised how much I liked this episode, given all my concerns I had after the end of Season 4. Now, if you haven't seen the episode yet, keep in mind I'm going to be going through key plot points from the episode, so here is your spoiler warning, and there it goes. My biggest concern after last season was this idea of dismembering Team Arrow and interchanging a new team with characters who haven't necessarily earned their stripes yet. But the episode does a surprisingly good job subtly introducing these new characters, as well as not completely eliminating the old characters. We see that prior to her death, Laurel wanted the mantle of the Black Canary to live on, which helps us accept the fact of somebody replacing her. We see that Curtis Holt wants to be trained to be more of an asset for Team Arrow and move him one step closer to Mr. Terrific. We see Quentin assemble a police task force to help Oliver in this time of transition. And we're also introduced to the newest character, Wild Dog, who is a vigilante who was inspired by the Green Arrow. And I think it's no coincidence that he wears a hockey mask. I think that's an homage to the fact that Stephen Amell played Casey Jones in the latest Ninja Turtles movie. I like how Diggle has distanced himself from the team, but at the same time hasn't completely isolated himself from Oliver, especially given that he's been a mentor figure to Oliver for so much of the series. I also like how Thea's distancing herself from Team Arrow, especially given that Oliver is opening the idea of killing people again, given her history with bloodlust. I actually really like the idea of Oliver going back to potentially killing people. I think it adds a lot of depth to his character, and adds a lot of questions about morale, as well as very reminiscent of Season 1 Arrow, which just so happens to be my favorite season. The only issue I had with Felicity, who really feels like she doesn't belong there, especially given the big ordeal that happened last season, but it seems that they're keeping her around just to have a potential love triangle plotline. In terms of villains, I really like Tobias Church. He was very reminiscent of Brick, a villain that we've seen previously in the series. He's a very brutal gang leader, and I think he'll be a good adversary for this new Team Arrow to take down. And finally, we're introduced to this new Black Hooded Archer, which again is very reminiscent to Season 1 when Malcolm Merlyn was the main villain. I think it would be really bold if they made Malcolm Merlyn the main villain again, but I don't think that's the route they're going. At this point, the only potential person that I can see as this new villain would be Felicity's new boyfriend, but I think that would be too generic, and I would prefer them go with a completely different character that we can learn more about as the season goes on. So that's my thoughts on Season 5, Episode 1 of Arrow. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of the episode. And if you haven't seen my latest videos, you can click right here to see my thoughts on Season 3 premiere of The Flash, or you click right here to see my thoughts on Season 1 of Luke Cage. And as always, guys, if you like this video, be sure to share and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook at John Ryan Andersen, or on Instagram and Twitter at The Comic Look. And remember, guys, as always, comics do deserve a second look.